I just reconnected with my first love, and it's been the most incredible experience. I am 31. First met MJ, F31, when we were 13 years old in middle school. From the moment I saw her, my heart stopped. I remember thinking she was the most beautiful thing I had ever seen. We became friends and briefly dated on and off throughout high school. Unfortunately, we were both troubled souls and dealt with a lot of grief and turmoil in our lives. We just weren't able to put another person above the impulsive and selfish decision-making we embraced at the time, and we would break up after a few months whenever we tried. In our early 20s, we occasionally saw each other, one-offs, mostly talking and a brief hookup, no sex, but we never made any serious effort to date. It hadn't worked only a few years before, and we'd be too afraid to try again as we were both pursuing our lives successfully and didn't want to screw with it. Eventually, we lost touch, wrapped up in our careers, relationships, and trying to figure out life. Both of us have had long-term relationships since then, but the truth is, I've never felt the same way for anyone I have ever loved, the way I feel about her. She's always been in my mind in some way or another. She's the only person I've ever fantasized about a family with, would give my life to protect without hesitation, and who my eye has never wandered from. It wouldn't matter if every perfect 10 on earth professed their love to me. I would tell them all I am happily taken. Fast forward, and it's been 12 years since we last dated with any serious intent. Recently, I've been doing a lot of soul-searching, and in that process, she just kept coming up not just in my waking hours, but even when I sleep. While I have been avoiding her for so long, I gave in, and I ended up following her on Instagram. She reached out immediately and asked if she could call me. I said yes, and she tells me she has been dreaming about me every night for months. We talked on the phone for 3 hours, and all the feelings came flooding back. She had recently gotten out of a relationship, and I was just having disappointing short-term flings after a failed engagement a few years ago that never really fulfilled me. She asked me if she could see me, and we could talk more in person, and I agreed to come visit her. I live in the city, and she's still back in my hometown, but I took the train back last Wednesday to meet up with her. Honestly, seeing her in person again, I just knew. We had an incredible time. While we thought we would take it slow, it just felt right to dive in. Within 20 minutes, we had made love, and then spent the rest of the day together. By the end of the day, we had professed our undying love, and that while we wish we didn't wait so long to come back to each other, we realized we needed that time to grow into people worthy of each other's love and patient enough to be as selfless as love must be. That was 4 days ago. Today we hung out again, and it was even more perfect. No one has ever looked at me the way she does. I've never felt more comfortable or vulnerable sharing my feelings with her, and no one has ever said words to me as beautiful and thoughtful as she has. Her smile is the most wonderful and precious thing I've ever seen, and all I want is to keep giving her joy and comfort and safety. We've already discussed moving in together early next year and getting married quickly if everything works out the way it feels like it will. She gave me her ring size before we said goodnight. Normally, I'd say this is insane, but given that we've been in love for so long and unable to date anyone else without dreaming of each other in secret, it just seems right. Like, it feels like the best chapter of my life has finally begun. Like finally coming home after a long and arduous journey. The craziest thing is our families are all super supportive, which is surprising because they were all weary of us when we were younger. Yet in the past week, they have said on both sides that they honestly expected this would happen one day and acknowledged that we've both never stopped bringing up one another to them. Her mother, who definitely thought I was a punk as a kid, told her she agreed that maybe we really are soulmates. It's incredible because I honestly was expecting the opposite reaction given our history when we were kids. The whole thing feels like a movie. Just wanted to share this story to show that lifelong romance is a real thing. Soulmates are real, and love lost can indeed find itself again. You just need to be willing to move on, put the work in, and cultivate love for yourself first. If you put that work in for its own sake, and the love is meant to be, you just might find each other again one day.